Hi everyone, my name is Rafiat and you're welcome back to my YouTube channel. If this is your first time of stopping by, you're welcome, and if you're an old subscriber, you're also welcome. Today I'm going to be showing you how I make peanut butter in the comfort of my home. Once you're done watching this video, there will be no need of you buying peanut butter ever again. And not just that, I'll be showing you two ways of making peanut butter from scratch using ingredients that you can find absolutely anywhere. You guys, please stick around till the end of this video so that you can see how I make peanut butter that looks really good, rich, natural, healthy, and all the good stuff. So you'll need peanuts. I mean, they're called peanut butter for a reason, right? And there are two kinds of peanuts that you'll find easily. The first type are these fat ones with the dark brown covering, or let's say dark red covering, and those ones don't contain a lot of oil, and I found out that using them for peanut butter, it's still okay, but using the small ones turn out better when making peanut butter. The small ones contain more oil, so I'm just going to set that one aside and I'll be working with the small ones. So there are other ingredients that you'll need, and these are the ingredients. I'm going to put the exact measurements in the description box so you don't have to worry about that. Luckily they are basic ingredients, but let me just run through them. I have cinnamon and nutmeg here. I have salt, of course salt for taste, and some vegetable oil that you may not use this at the end of the day. And let's get right into it. So I'm just going to transfer the peanuts into a tray and I'll be sorting them out. So this step of sorting the peanuts, very important. You find out that this peanut has been to places that you cannot imagine. So in the process, you're going to find all sorts of things, hair strands, sand, stone, all sorts of things that you're going to be shocked. For instance, you guys, just wait, look at this very mighty stone I saw in the peanuts while sorting. This kind of thing can spoil your blender, and it's not cool when you're maybe enjoying your peanut butter. You'll be chewing sand and dirt or seeing hair strands and all of that. So this process is very important. Patiently sort the peanuts out. Another method of sorting, you can do this using a sieve. Okay, just transfer the peanuts into a sieve and shake it off to get rid of the sand. But I prefer using this particular method in this video because sometimes you find out that some of the particles cannot pass through the sieve. So yeah, just patiently do this method, or if you feel the particles can pass through, you can do the sieve. It's all good. The most important thing is that at the end of the day, make sure that your peanut doesn't have anything that can make the peanut butter not turn out perfect. So this is all these are all the dirt I got out from the peanuts. So now I'm just going to divide my peanuts into two so that I can show you two ways of roasting. The process of roasting is the second step, and it's also very important that you do this properly. So I divided into two and I'm just transferring the first part into a bowl. Luckily there are different ways to roast your peanuts, but I'm going to show two methods, two easy methods of doing it in this video. But before that, let's go ahead and add some salt to the groundnut. So all you have to do is add some salt to some water, and once you're done with that, mix it, stir it all together so that the salt can properly get dissolved. This way is the best way of salting your groundnuts. It penetrates the groundnuts properly and not just on the surface. So mix that all together, and once you're done with that, go ahead and transfer that into the bowl containing the groundnuts. Once you do that, mix so that the salt can get incorporated into the groundnut properly. After doing that, it's okay to set the groundnut aside for about 10 minutes so that the salt can properly get penetrated. Of course, very important. I like to set this aside. It's actually optional to set aside for some time, but I like to do this because I found out that it gives the groundnuts perfect taste. So after about 5 to 10 minutes, I'm going in with parchment paper or baking paper. I'm just going to place this in my air fryer. You can skip this part, but I like to do this because I don't want anything messing with my air fryer. So I'm just going to place that into my air fryer basket, and after that I'm going to gently transfer the groundnut into the air fryer basket. So this first method is the air fryer method. You can also do this with an oven. You can use a halogen oven, the conventional oven. It works perfectly fine. So this process is really simple. Just add salt and water and transfer into your air fryer basket, and that's it. This method is very fast, straight to the point, nothing complicated and all that. Don't forget to properly spread the peanuts and fix the air fryer basket back, set the temperature and timer. I'll put all the details in the box. I set my temperature at 200 degrees for 20 minutes. Then after that, I turn the air fryer on again for another 10 minutes. In total, making it 30 minutes. But I'll put all the details in the box below, so don't worry about it. And after that, we are moving to the second method. So this second method is the manual method, and you don't need an air fryer, electricity or anything like that. So first of all, there are two ways to do this, either using salt or gari. And using salt is like the native method. The oldest method of frying groundnuts is by using salt. And recently I discovered that you can also use gari in place of salt. So just before we get into the frying process, don't forget to add some salt to the groundnuts the way we showed this earlier. Add some salt to the water and add to the groundnuts. I'm going to put the exact measurements in the box below, so don't worry about it. Once you've added the salt water, mix so that everything can get well incorporated. And once you're done with that, go ahead and add transfer the gari into the frying pan. So what I'm doing is just to fry the gari for a little bit, of time. And it's simple. If you want to use salt, just do the same thing. Add the salt to the pan, then add the groundnut. But I prefer to use gari. Ever since I discovered that, you can fry groundnuts with gari, I prefer using gari than salt. I don't know, it's just the same thing anyway. I know you might be wondering, won't using salt make the groundnuts too, salty? But that's not actually true. It won't be too salty. So, but I still prefer using gari. It's just a thing of preference. So if you want to use salt, that's perfectly fine. Your groundnuts won't be too salty. No, it won't. So mix this, stir. So you have to do this for about 10 to 15 minutes. Continue stirring this on medium heat until they are perfectly roasted, as you can see. So allow them to cool completely before moving to the next step, which is basically removing the husk of the groundnut. And I'm going to start off with the ones I roasted in the air fryer. I'm just going to transfer that to a tray and start removing the husk. So you can use your hand to do this. Simply rub the groundnut in between your hand, and you're going to get off the husk that way. Very easy and straightforward to do. There's nothing special about this. This is just the basic and oldest method of removing the husk of groundnuts from groundnuts. So it's always at this point I get tempted to pick some and throw into my mouth, or to soak sharp gari. I know I'm not alone on this. So after that, get rid of the chaff, and that's it for this one. So for the ones that we roasted with gari, go ahead and transfer them into a sieve and shake the sieve vigorously. This is so that you can get rid of all the gari and go ahead and peel the groundnuts. So this gari, you can actually use it repeatedly. You can use this to fry another groundnut, but in case this quantity is not enough to fry more, you can add a little more gari and fry. It's just the same. It's going to still turn out nice, even though you're using the same gari. Repeat this process until you've gotten rid of the gari. If you feel the sieve is not okay to allow all the particles of the gari to pass through, use another size of sieve. That's fine. Now I'm just going to transfer this to a tray and do the same thing I did for those of the those that I roasted in the air fryer. Just use your hand to get rid of the chaff, and that's it. The peanuts look so good. So tell me, do you see any difference between those I roasted using the air fryer and those I roasted using the gari method? Let me know what you think, and which method do you prefer? Which method will you use when you're trying out this recipe? Just let me know. So I'm just going to combine both of them, since I'm going to continue the process using one blender or food processor. So let me quickly say this: you can either make peanut butter using a blender or a food processor, and I'll be using a blender for today's video. And before we start, don't forget to set about 1 tablespoon of peanut aside. We're going to use that later on. Remember, we're making two kinds of peanut butter, the type which is totally smooth and the type which is crunchy. So that's the reason we have to set aside some of the peanuts. So now I'm just going to turn the blender on. I'm using a high-speed blender. I'm going to put the details in the box below, but you can use any high-speed blender. It doesn't have to be this particular one. You can also use a food processor like I said earlier. So now I'm just adding the nutmeg and the cinnamon. These are optional, but it gives really lovely flavor. So cinnamon and nutmeg are a must add to my peanut butter. So I'm just going to allow this blend and it looks really smooth, you guys, and it smells so good. So I'm just going to pour out half of the peanut butter and go in with the, you remember the 1 tablespoon of peanuts we set aside. This is the stage where you add it, blend again, and you're going to be left with the second type. So the idea of this second type is to have some crunch in it. Okay, and that's it. We are done making peanut butter. 2 kinds, the one with the crunch and the one without the crunch. You can see how easy, super easy it is to make peanut butter from scratch. Now you see why I said that once you're done watching this video, you do not have to buy peanut butter. You can control what goes in and what doesn't. So with this straightforward recipe, you can make your own peanut butter anyhow you like it. And you guys, I've still not figured out which one I prefer, whether it's the crunchy one or the smooth one. They are both really good, really good, and I hope you try out this recipe. And please guys, like this video and subscribe to my channel. It means a lot to me. Thank you so much for coming this far. Thank you for watching my video, and I will see you in my next one. Bye bye.